Hello, ECE 240, and welcome to Chapter 13, Week 13, Moral Development. And this week, I'm going to kind of guide you to think about who influenced your moral development. Moral development meaning choosing what's right or what's wrong, your principles, your values, and how did your community, how did your parents, how did those who you interacted with influence your moral development? Those key characteristics that make us who we are, those judgments. Remember, in that week when we were talking about executive function skills and learned about the importance of executive function skills, all of you wanted someone who would lead your company, who would be trustworthy, who you could trust, who was a leader. Well, good leaders are those that have strong moral development. We build trust with other people due to our moral development skills. What I have for you this week is some opportunities to look at videos. I have two videos. The first video I think really does it perfectly, connects it to science, and it's on Kohlberg's stages of moral development. Please watch that video from start to finish. That is going to give you a very strong example of a theory attached to moral development. It provides the different stages of his theory, and I think it's one of the best videos that provides some great real examples with real people to discuss moral development in a very scientific way, and how research and data is gathered in the area of moral development. So it's a fun video. Enjoy the video, especially when you hear those responses from different people at the different stages of moral development. For a good laugh, because we always need a good laugh, I have a video below that that's called Candy 2011. And it's a funny video that shows how children handle their emotions sometimes, and when they get angry. And I think one of the things when it comes to moral development and it comes to social emotional intelligence, having feelings is okay, being happy, being sad, being angry, but it really comes to what do we do with those feelings that put us in the best decision, that allow us to make the best moral decisions. Can you make appropriate moral decisions when you are feeling angry? And that's the true sign of a strong character and individuals we're looking for to lead our children, to lead our community. So I want you to take a look at that video, Candy 2011, and really that last pair of children at the end, the big brother. I love how he supports his little brother. Those two are very calm. Think about, compared to the other children, how those children are being supported in their moral development. A very strong clue to how they respond in that Candy video of what their moral development has been compared to the other children that you're seeing in that video. So you have two videos there, really awesome. I think you'll enjoy Kohlberg's video there. I have some resources for you that I want you to dig into that give you additional resources, and resources that you can use as parents, as future parents, as leaders in your professions, your future professions. And number 3 is called Resources Family Tools. It takes you to the Center on the Social and Emotional Foundations for Early Learning. This is a great source, a great website that I think all of you can use. It talks about feelings. It gives you a whole pyramid of how to support ultimate success when social emotional intelligence, also with moral development. So I think this is a great tool. It's in English and Spanish. Play around with that website. My goal as your professor is that when you leave this class, you have an abundance amount of tools that you can use for future work, but also for your personal lives. And so this is a great website for you guys to have. So I want to make sure you have that. And then also number 4 is promoting moral development in schools. Now, we're not going to talk heavily about this, but there is something in the book that calls out hidden curriculum. You're going to need to figure out what hidden curriculum is, because the question of hidden curriculum will be on your midterm. So it's very important that you understand how schools are trying to support moral development, how they influence moral development. And one of the ways they do that is through hidden curriculum. So it's go ahead, read this article, but more importantly, when you read the chapter, make sure you highlight hidden curriculum, think about hidden curriculum, and make sure that you have an understanding of hidden curriculum, because that will be on your final. I'm sorry, it's going to be on your final. I said midterm, but that will be exactly on your final. Okay, hidden curriculum, as I'm putting your finals together. So you have the videos, the 2 resources. Of course, you have your quiz that's due on Sunday, your chapter quiz. And then I have a great question for you guys this week, and the question is called discipline. We use discipline as a way to influence, support, and develop moral development with children. And a lot of times when we think of discipline, we think of it as a negative thing. It's because maybe back in the day, that's when you got the chancla, or you were spanked, or someone talked to you very firmly. What we know is this: methods of discipline actually can have an impact on your moral development. And one of the things I think it's very important when we think about discipline is not about doing what I call the after, meaning that when you find a child that has done something that questions their moral development or gets them in trouble, that we get them in trouble, we yell or we scream. These are not very productive ways of supporting social emotional development and also moral development. We really need to think about what are proactive strategies that we can use with children to actually allow them to avert the actual misbehavior before it even happens. What are some positive things that we can tell? Instead of telling children what they can't do, how can we support children in telling them what they can do? That's this positive behavior reinforcement is key to positive behavior, and giving children choices is really helpful too. So saying, hey, you can do A or B. What are those? What do you want to do out of A and B? And then they feel they have this empowerment and making decisions. And this is very important for children that are growing these brain connections during the first 5 years of their life, to know that they have the power of choice and the power of making choices that provide them good outcomes. This all comes together with moral development and supporting good moral development. So for your question, this is what I have. It's a little bit of your personal story, just like last week. And then I'm tying in some information that you've learned from this week, the videos, the articles, and then also what you've read this chapter this week, chapter 13. How are parents' discipline techniques linked to children's moral development? Okay, so that's the question you're going to answer. What are some proactive strategies parents can use to avert potential misbehavior by children before it happens? So I want you to understand what moral development is, but really what I want you to apply this week are what are things that parents can do to support moral development, taking the information and now using it in real life. One of the things that I find very interesting in our book, it makes a connection, and you'll see the chart, that as less people over time are engaged in church, faith, we are actually seeing an increase of crime in our communities. And so it's making that common link. And what it's doing, a lot of religions and churches, what they provide is guidelines for moral development, choosing right from wrong, And so I really want you to take a deep look at yourself and think about, how did your parents impact your moral development? Were you raised potentially as a Catholic or a Christian or other religions? Did that impact your moral development? Maybe you weren't raised really going to church. Maybe you were an individual that got spanked a lot, or encountered ways that were not proper ways to support your moral development, and how that has impacted who you are today. Here's the bottom line, though. You have the opportunity of how you support the children that come into your lives, their moral development. And that's the opportunity you have. And I hope this week's chapter and videos and articles and also the webpage that gives you a bunch of tools help prepare you to support the moral development of those that you interact with, give you a strong look at yourself of ways that you can improve also your moral development as we build trustworthy relationships with those that have very moral development skills, social emotional skills that mirror ours. So have fun this week. I know you're going to enjoy that 2011 candy video. It's very funny. But this is a serious topic, and a topic that now, I've always talked about this. What are the tools that you're going to have to be able to support and impact the lives of others? And here's one great opportunity when thinking about moral development, of how we can have a very huge impact of how we support our interactions, our relationships, and how we impact the lives of others. And so we can be very intentional with that work and very proactive with that work. So you have your question that's due on Friday, response to your peers on Sunday. You also have your quiz on the chapter that is due this Sunday as well. Also, your last observation is due on the 19th. So please upload your observation as well. And I just want to thank all of you. I know we've made this transition to online learning. Thank you for being resilient. Thank you for continuing this process. You can do it. You're doing a wonderful job. Keep up the good work. Just keep on pushing, keep on trying. If I can be of any help or support, any questions you might have, feel free to email me, feel free to contact me, and I'm here to provide the support to help you in your overall success, not just in this class, but your overall success of the goals that you have for yourself and the things that you want to accomplish. So I thank you so much for all the hard work you're doing. Keep it up, and I look forward to reading your work and responding to your work this week. Take care.